Welcome. This is Alan Lewin. I'm here with the former chief of the Maroons, Incident Maroon Accompong, Mr. Merdie Rowe. Mr. Merdie Rowe, welcome. Thank you. Yes. I think he is aware of what is happening down in Accompong town between the Prime Minister, the citizen, and the current leader, Mr. Perry. What's your intake on that? What do you think about it? Can you bring any resolution to that?
Yes, I'm aware of what transpired, and I'm concerned. And at the end of the day, the Maroon people will be the one to suffer from that. Clearly, there is instability in the community. There are mixed views in the community as a result of the statements came out, read the visit of the Prime Minister and the team, and the President Colonel has responded or reacted and not to the suit of much of the people. That does argue well for the Maroon movement and its people, and the wider Jamaica, so to speak, because I know the wider Jamaica respect the movement of the Maroon, the heritage, the culture, and what they did to contain slavery activities. And so the community is bereft of the type of unity that is necessary to move the Maroon agenda forward. And I've visited the community very often, make my assessment, make my observations, listen to the views of the people. I tell myself that this thing lack leadership, and the people are divided. So many are asking me the questions about why me gonna run back, because they want a stable leader in the community. And make my assessment, I'm willing to provide that at the right time.
It's the election is called February. Because it's February election, right?
Yeah, it's due February, but I'm not sure if the present leader would want to call it February. I would need some time. Say even to the mid 2026. And that would be better for the people too. Yes. What they need is that blessed assurance that the democratic principles are upheld, and it will bring cohesiveness, orderliness, and what have you in the community.
So from February 2021, since Mr. Perry was elected as a chief, you think he done anything significant to the community? In your thoughts?
Out of a bunch of caution, I wouldn't want to use the word significant. Because when I look at what needs to be done, it takes unity, it takes resources and support to accomplish that. And the people are crying out. But most of the time I don't really say anything, because the voice of the people are more important than my voice. I believe that the people must have not only the first say, but the final say. So leadership must be people oriented and willing to listen to the people. And coming out of that, you will see clear transparency, openness, truthfulness, honesty. All those are good attributes that a leader must display.
All right. What do you think about the Prime Minister offering aid to the victim from Melissa, and he bringing the military? What do you think about when he bringing the military to distribute the aids? Do you think that is a fair, right?
Well, I don't see if the purpose and the intention of the military to assist in the recovery process, because clearly the Army Maroon doesn't have the resource. So in principle, I wouldn't object to it at all. I wouldn't object it any at all. Because the people need it. Even myself suffer from that because my house up there is very culturally historic. In that 2 Maroon leaders has passed through. That was myself. My father was a Secretary of State to the Maroons for 40 years, since 1940. And many cultural icons has come through that level. And so that house was called Trelawney Town Maroons. In that, the 2 different groups of Maroons in the island, the Windward Maroon in the east and the Trelawney Town Maroon in the east, in the west of the island, otherwise called the Leeward Maroons. And so the Trelawney Town Maroon were the first set to get a treaty with the British because they were in the forefront of resisting slavery conditions that prevailed in the community, in the community and in Jamaica at that time. And so the significance of Accompong or the Maroon movement is paramount, albeit that there is no history, no books in the schools or in the library that give a comprehensive account of the Maroons. Marcus Garvey is a full Maroon. And you don't hear anybody in high places saying that. Nobody's saying that. But I have information of what Marcus Garvey said to the late Colonel H.A. Rowe in the 1930s before he went back to America.
That's your father? Or your grandfather?
Well, my granduncle.
Oh.
Granduncle.
So I would think you would have write a book about the Maroon.
Yeah, it is being written now.
If you were elected again.
Yes, it will accelerate it.
So I was wondering if you think about it 1993 when you were in power. So did you think you were writing a book all the time?
Yes, I have some thought about it, but one term, 5 years, would totally inefficient or insufficient.
So why do you think they voted out? Why do you think they voted out?
Well, I'm saying going not every truth to be told, but people have needs. People will need more than what you can afford to give.
Oh, so if you're poor, they don't want it.
And if you don't have it, you can. And it happens in any democratic country, though.
So tell me something. The man that did house girl, Mr. What's his name? The man that's died. Sidney Petty.
Yeah.
Was he a more wealthy man than you? Financially?
Of course, because at the time, I have 6 children of school age. He had none.
Oh.
He was in England, and the British colonied many times to one Jamaican dollar.
So money talk up.
Yeah, money talk and bullshit walk, so to speak.
So you ever try to, when Corey was seeking election, did you try to get in the elected?
Yes, 4 of us actually contested, But then again, there's some colorful artists, no name to be called.
Yes.
They pump a few $1 million in the campaign. I wasn't the recipient of any. And so a lot of money spent and people gravitate for it.
So come this February, I think you will seek election.
Well, the people are pressuring me, both Maroons and non-identified Maroons.
So what you say?
Are pressuring.
Like when they pressure, you say yes or no, you come out. Make you leave them know.
Well, I'm available. I'm available to re-represent them. Because the cultural trust is on the edge. And it needs to put together. Because for example, who Marcus Garvey is not being promoted. And I am a pro Marcus Garvey person. And I make no bones about that.
Probably you don't want them.
Yeah, so both Maroon and those who don't even see themselves as Maroon embrace Marcus Garvey. And I believe Marcus Garvey is the greatest hero of all times.
What I want to ask, do you think is politics coming within all of this? Like the PNP and JLP, like the community divided now?
Well, that is a concern really, because much of the Maroons participate in Jamaica elections, and regrettably, it creates a divide to some extent. I, for one, if I'm re-elected, I will not go on a political platform without properly requested, and it could not be on a partisan line. So they asked me to give them a prayer, a devotion. I'll do things like that, but I'm not going to make any political statement as it relates to the wider Jamaican politics.
All right, we're less than a month away from the annual Maroon celebration at Accompong. Do you think the hurricane disaster will affect this next year's staging? You know, so every January they have a Maroon celebration. You think this hurricane will affect, like on a light, I don't know, some of the people in the house?
It will affect it if we don't get back electricity, get back a service. It will affect it. Because based on the farm and tenure of the event and the activity of the average people, hundreds upon hundreds of people come in for the celebration. Some come as vendors. Some are excited about the cultural thrust. Locally and overseas people too. So we are on the pray and hope. If the government so wish, they will try to urge the requisite utilities companies to speed up the process so that the light can be there before the end of December. And we will have a proper and good celebration. Because people are looking forward to the annual event. Is the most cultural event in Jamaica. And they're looking forward for that for 200 and how many years. An annual event. And people love it. And I would want to say that never in the history you have so many African in Jamaica who are Rastafarian that embrace the culture. And I have an organization called the Maroon African Traditional Assembly. And that's a body that will promote the Africanism in the Maroon thing. And I will link with the African Union, have a close link with them to ensure that they accept what we are saying in relation to our bond between we in Jamaica, because we are from the West African continent. And it's the best continent in the world.
Yeah, so Mr. Merdie, tell us what vision you have for the Accompong. If you is really
I have a real vision, and it's not new. I would have additional information in it, because the culture, it is over commercialized, and that need to have a serious look at. The people need employment and the people need skills. There is a trade school up there, and it was for the longest while. From my cousin Colonel Petty was the colonel until today's date. No step has been taken by any leader to reopen the place and to give them skill. Hard Trust has endorsed it, learning skills, and nothing happened. I built a Maroon cultural village, and it was destroyed under leaders that followed after me. Destroyed. I tried to rebuild back our command of the Maroon Armed Forces, Generalissimo Kojo, at the old town where Kojo was living. That building was primo, almost complete, and it destroyed. Not even ashes at the old town at this time. And 1, 2, 3, 4 colonels succeed me, and they have done nothing to correct it. We had put aside 200 acres of land for 80 farmers to farm. And it is flat. Nobody make an attempt to resurrect it. We had the banana will be planted and planting, and we were identifying market for it. A bakery was to be established for bread, for baked product, including banana and planting chips and dashing chips and so forth. The farmers would benefit. I have document where we're making requests to potent organization to donate trucks to carry the stuff to the market and to the wharf. We have also request ambulance for the community because there's no hospital up there. So we get an ambulance, and over time, we would seek funding to build a comprehensive type 5 health center up there. So that we have to depend on Black River. I have made contact with the Nigerian embassy, and they are willing to provide a doctor and a nurse to live in the community. We provide the land and the infrastructure, this building for them to stay. And no move has been made by success with those who follow me.
So did you give them the plan that you have? Or you just keep it to yourself?
I told myself, Colonel Petty, he died now. He didn't want it.
So
Colonel Williams didn't want it.
Him die with the plan then. So you have to give somebody else. You have to approach Forrest things elected and try to have a talk with him.
Well, the truth is, we have never been on any terms. Because he's never familiar with him, really. You know, he born in Kingston and so forth. Never familiar with the...
So he's a maroon? Is he a real maroon? Or?
Well, his grandmother is a maroon from there. So he has that connection as a result. Yes. Well, I would have been willing to work with him, but he never made that request.
Oh. Probably after I talk to him, because so my chief now saying now, come to nobody. I you should have come to him in my thing. You see?
I thought it because he go to good school. So he should have better thinking.
Yeah. Alright. This is Mr. Merdie, former colonel for the Accompong Maroon in St. Elizabeth. Him said the people them want him as a leader the next year. So let us wait and see if they will re-elect him. In 1993, he was the colonel, hosted by Sydney, the late Sydney Perry. So we are waiting and see. And hope this next year, Accompong celebration can keep January. Looking forward to it.
Well, Jamaicans, I am yours. I will to give everything that I have, everything that I am not. Try me and see that I can be completely yours.
Yes.
And I'll be willing to meet with the Prime Minister at his convenience.
At his convenience.
At his convenience, I'm willing to meet with him.
Because you're available anytime.
I'm available.
All right. Respect, sir. Nice to have a talk with you. All right.